Mosquitoes found me. I'm just gonna zoom out a little bit because I'll be running around a little bit, but we'll see if it wanders. I don't know. I just shoved it in the dirt, so it's not anything precise. Wow, these mosquitoes are bad already. All right. Actually, I'm gonna zoom out just a little more. There we go. I'm just gonna leave it run for a while and see what goes, see what happens. There's like thin clouds a little bit here and there. We're taking a tour. Whoa, shaky. There, I'm zoomed in all the way. There we go. Pretty grainy. I better zoom out a little bit. Just to get it a little clearer. Sorry about that. It's so shaky. Oh man. That's the YouTube app on my phone. I can't get it to... Can't really ever get it to work right. Hi Beulah, how you doing? I'm taking some cool time-lapse photos of Pleiades right now. Like zoomed way in. I'll put them up on YouTube. Oh, Uber driving? Cool. The mosquitoes are about to carry me away. Yeah, I wish I could get this moon on here better. I mean, it's too bright. It's bright in the sky. It's like daylight out here. There we go, the motor finally caught up. There's like different color even on the moon. Like brown and gray. Like blue. You see that? I see like 3-4 different colors. Let me zoom out a little bit more. Whoa. Whoa, that's not what I was trying to do. Whoa. Okay. There we go. Maybe you can see it, maybe you can't. I don't know. I wish YouTube had a way to like turn the brightness down on my video, but oh man, after I look at my screen on the phone for a couple minutes, I can't see anything when I try to look up at the stars. So in, let's see, that would be something like 24 hours or, well, like 27 hours or something like that. There's gonna be an ISS transit across the moon. So I'm gonna if it's not cloudy and rainy, I hope to, oh really? Well, I hope to have my camera on it just like this and watch that ISS go by. If you can call it that. We'll watch that beast go by, alright? Oh, really? 2,000 felt reports. I see bubbles on the moon. I don't know why I like this side of the moon the best. I really don't know why. My camera always goes over like there, but I'm just cruising around. Should I zoom in a little bit more and do this? I might as well. I'm zooming in about like that far. Yeah, stars are bright tonight. You see my telescope trying to fight me? I got the control in my hand, so I'm like overriding its little, what do they call that? They got a name for it. Sidereal rate. They got a name for everything though. Sidereal rate to me just, it's just more proof that Earth is stationary and that the moon is moving. Because if I override it, the moon would go like this. Burp. It would go right out of view. Because the moon is moving. Unless you want to be like Lucifer and try to live in the stars. Say, oh yeah, the moon's not moving. The Earth must be moving. No, you know why they have to get going so fast to go into space, you guys? Because they have to get going as fast to however the firmament is going to get into it. Otherwise they would like chop their head off, right? So that's why they have to go. It's a different realm up there. It's like moving, or it's like, I don't know how to, I don't understand it. I mean, I'm just saying, it's not meant for us. It's God's. Look at that. That's kind of cool right there on, whoops, other way, right here. I don't know if I've ever seen that, or I've probably seen it, but never paid too much attention to it. Yeah, so I almost caught a shooting star tonight. I was like 1 second away. I had my camera pointed up at the stars, and it was just like, I just didn't have the record button pressed yet. So I would have caught it, but I don't know if it would have been in focus or something, but one of these days I'll get one. I don't know if you guys noticed that about falling stars, or whatever they call shooting stars, I mean. I don't know if you guys have ever noticed that, but, oh, cool, Beulah. I have been kind of like testing something out just to see, and I found out that I usually don't sit and look at the night sky for very long periods of time, because if I do, I'll bet you if I go out and look at the sky for 1 or 2 minutes, a lot of times I'll see a shooting star. So if you actually spend 10 minutes and look up at the stars and just sit there and look up and see what's happening up there, there's a lot going on up there. Lots of things shooting across the sky and things kind of crawling across the sky. Let's look and see. I'm just kidding. It would take us a while to see much of the sky with that speed. I'm still trying to go back down to it now. It's actually the motors are struggling a little bit because they're trying to lift my iPhone and the holder that I have. It's still struggling to get up there. I gotta change the speed. That's just too much. Oh, there we go. I gotta zoom back out. get the full view. See, that's the size. You guys can see the size of my the space that I have to work with on the camera. So usually I zoom in a little bit just so I get full screen. You know what I mean? So I don't have the corners of the screen missing. You can see they're actually right there. It's about usually where I go, but I'll go a little more because then it's totally. Yeah. Yeah, you know what I put on Facebook the other day? I said, someone told me to shout from the rooftops, the earth is flat. Or something like that. I can't remember exactly what I said. Whoops, wrong way. Yeah, it seems to be tracking the moon really good. Like, it doesn't seem to be wandering much. The way that I have it set up right now is, I forget all the right words, but it's equatorial, northern hemisphere equatorial mount, which means I'm only using, well, I'm using both motors, but it only needs one axis. It only needs to turn because I've got the telescope positioned actually, it's positioned facing the North Star, if that makes sense. Like the base of the telescope hinges on the ecliptic or rotates on the ecliptic, and it is centered on the North Star. So what that means is, and then also the angle of I think it's 47 degrees where I'm at to the North Star or whatever, or I don't know if you subtract or what, but so basically I positioned my telescope so that it will follow the moon if I position it in the right position, and I just have to turn it on and then put the moon in the viewfinder, and it'll stay on it. So that's the sidereal rate or whatever. That's what I have it set up as right now. So for some odd reason, there's people that'll actually tell you, oh, that proves the Earth's rotation. I'm like, what? No, it doesn't. It proves the opposite of that. It proves the moon's movement over our heads. And here's the thing. So this information about the moon or whatever, it's not really that big of a deal, okay? Like, it's really not all that different than a rock in the sky. But really what it means is that either you believe what God said and what he wrote and what he told us these things are, or you believe what our discoveries have taught us. What if our discoveries are just delusions? I mean, that's what they are. The moon has always been just like this. Yeah, Beulah, that's how it should be. That's how it should be. Man, I gotta say, hey Lucas P. Bear, how you doing? I gotta say that it's something that's really crazy. Hey, Spare Room Music, how you doing? That's a good question. And what if the Bible wasn't written? I can't catch up with your comment, but it said something like if the Bible wasn't written by God but by man. And that's a good Beulah, discernment. And not only that, there's more that we can even use as proof and evidence. That there's more than that even. Now in the days that we live in, I mean, because of all the things that are happening, are all the things specifically that have been talked about. Just saying, Beulah says. But okay, like whether a person believes the scriptures are inspired by God or not, I don't think that that's really what faith is. It was, though, isn't an argument. Oh, yeah, that's true. Um, well, let's put it this way. You have proof in your life, and I'm guessing your name was Colin, but I might be wrong on that. But when you take a breath, and it's kind of like all about how you think about it. It's not like you're experiencing a different world that, or I mean, than I'm experiencing. We're all experiencing something that's like, the Bible says that the invisible attributes of God are seen in all the things that He created, and all the things that He created understand it. So it's like, and what did it say? Basically, it said we'll be held accountable for what we witness and what we bear witness to in this world. I mean, let's just take the human body, just for an example of the divine nature that's undeniable. Okay, take your hand, just one part of the human body, your hand, and just look at your hand first of all, and then tell your pinky to move and move it. And then and everyone says, oh yeah, physics explains this, and all these things explain this. No, it doesn't. That's just a farce. There's like an example would be the clouds. The clouds, they're water, and they fall out of the sky when the vapor it collects into big enough things that they can weigh enough to fall. This is like the physics explanation of the clouds. But there's possibly, if you think about like the human body, and you think about breathing air, and you think about when you're tired, or when you have energy, or when you're drained, or when things are going good or bad, or you feel guilty, or you feel physical pain, or all these things that we experience. Or you smell some good food, or all these things we experience are like, they're more than just, it's easy to take it for granted. I'm saying it is. So the evidence, I mean, one evidence is this. First of all, if we're going to bank on something like the Big Bang or evolution, as being kind of like the source of what makes everything come to the point that we're at, like 2019, all of a sudden, from wherever to 2019, if you think that that's something that can happen without something creating the time, space, and matter and governing it, if you all that has to happen in order for the earth to exist. Don't confuse the existence of a creator with the source of the Bible. The two are not necessarily. No, that's what I am commenting on that, though. Like the Word of God, a lot of, like, I used to think that was just another name for the Bible, like the Word of God. Well, and then in the Bible, John, in the Gospel of John, it starts out saying, in the beginning was the Word. And now I've come to realize that the Word, it says, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. In the beginning, or he, basically by Him were all things created. Jesus is the Word of God. So the Word made flesh. He's like, basically the Bible. But like you said, the words on the page, on that piece of paper, came from the pen that was in some author's hand, and the author physically was one of the apostles or one of the disciples or whatever. So it's like, we know that physically men wrote the Bible. I don't have a problem saying that because it's true. Now, here's the other aspect that isn't being really considered if that's the case, or if someone's saying that that God didn't inspire the Bible, or possibly that He didn't, or who says that He did, like that kind of thing. No one has proof, but how, like, look at it from a different point of view. Something that is outside of time, like people say, who created God or when was God created? It's not like that. God is not, like, we get up in the morning and we live our day, and that's how our lives are. That's like, we can't escape that because the sun and the moon are there, and the light and the darkness and all these things. We can't escape that in this physical world, but God is outside of that world. So when you go into His realm, there's no time, there's no beginning of God. He's always there. Okay, you pretty much atheist. I want to change that, Spare Room Music, because there is legitimate reason to uh, and I'm not saying you're wrong, or that's not what it's about. I'm just glad that um, that you tune in and check it out. The things that that everyone's talking about, but like, I think that usually the people that would say they're atheists, they say there's no proof or there's no evidence. There's nothing that they can hold in their hand, or nothing that they can look at that concretely proves God. And that's part of my argument, is that yes, you do. Every day that you get up in the morning, when your eyes open, um, all the all that stuff, like me talking to you right now, that's something, that's communicating with something, is something to think about. No, I don't think he thinks the earth is flat, Iger Television. Maybe he does, but I don't think he does. We're working on that. By the way, if the live stream suddenly quits, it's because my phone died. I didn't realize it's been 28 minutes. That's pretty good for my iPhone 6. But yeah, I'll put those time-lapse shots of Pleiades. I got a couple good ones. I'll put them up on YouTube. Whoa. But that's just one of the things, is that if if it's science, because a lot of people say, oh, I base my my reality on science, and what science can prove or whatever. Well, there's maybe things that you're not really being true to the word science on. And that's like demonstration of things. And I'm not trying to get into like details of like gravity and all this. There's a lot of beliefs going on in science, but here's the big one. The big one is that there's no possible way for any human being to take something that's not life. Here comes a little bit of cloudage. It's really thin though. It actually looks like a rainbow when I look up at it, like a rainbow around the moon. But there's nothing that, I forgot what I was saying. Oh, we can't create. Okay, if there was not life, then how does life start? We can't demonstrate or observe or create, or recreate, or even conceptualize that. There is no time when something wasn't alive that became living. I think that looks kind of cool with that cloud passing over that like that. It actually does look cool if you do a time lapse too. A little bit of clouds coming. They're actually really thin though, like this. Might get thicker though, I can't really tell. House is in the way. It's just so nice out. It's nice. It's probably like 60 or 55 degrees or something. And the air's really crisp and clear. So I was like, I'm going out there. And I can't believe my phone is still going. Ooh, got a little thicker. Yeah, I think it's also cool that like right now when I look up at the moon, it a lack of understanding of Darwin. You know, careful with Darwin, man. Darwin's been exposed as a liar publicly. Look into it. Um, it's out of focus big time. It can't focus because of the clouds or something. Maybe that means my focus is a little bit off because I do have autofocus on my phone. So I think that means I can get the focus a little better. Like that. So then my phone won't have such, oh, no. Other way? Yeah, other way. Oh, now I lost the focus. Ah! That's close. Can't really tell. Oh, wow. Yeah, there's just like an army of clouds moving in. You tell it, Beulah. There we go, that's focused. Yeah, you know, I've heard more people say that they found what we're all talking about. They found it when they were like broken, like when they, um, when we stop, like for a second and be like, this life that the way that I'm living my life isn't gonna work anymore. It has to change, and it's like you realize that it's really fraudulent, uh, even like just to I'll use myself for an example. I'm a fraud to myself if I'm not honest with myself, and I mean really honest. Like, doesn't matter if something's fun or not to consider and to I'm saying just straight up honest with yourself. Like if I said to you, I mean, I'll use this dumb one again, but if I said to you, yeah, the Earth does not rotate, and the motors in my telescope are solid evidence and proof that the moon is what is moving in the sky, and the Earth, I never have to move my telescope. The motors on my telescope are actually moving my telescope to follow the thing that's moving in the sky. So if I say that to you, if you automatically want to come up with something to counter it, it's just illogical. So you could say, well, like most people's stance would be, well, if you go up higher, if you go up where the moon is, and you were to look at the Earth, you'd see it rotating. And my argument, of course, would be that you prove that. Oh, wow. It got, like, it's going to be clouds, like straight up clouds now. I'm going to take this thing off and show you guys what we got going on here. All right. Oh, wow. Can't hardly see nothing. There's the moon. And the clouds. They just started. See that kind of line of them there? Pleiades is... I wonder if I can zoom in on Pleiades. Yeah, maybe I can. Beulah's comment is just way too bright for me to see Pleiades. Well, no, yeah, spare room music. You're right. You're right. You'd have to stare at Earth for a long time. But the point that I would make about that is that you can't go up there, dude. You can't go up there. Even if NASA astronauts claim that they can go up there, you yourself, in your life, for all the years you live your life, you can't. And you won't. And I'm not saying that like to be like, yeah, we're the we're such peasants. That's not the point. You can kind of see that rainbowish thing going around the moon there. Them clouds are getting thick. But we don't live up there. We live on the Earth. 24/7, we're on the Earth. So to say that the moon is, or to say that the Earth is rotating, nonsensical to me. Might have to hold you to that, Joe. I'm not sure what exactly what, but now there we go. Now I probably screwed up and said the wrong thing. No, I'm just kidding. Yep, bye-bye clear skies. But yeah, I do want other people to understand the point. Like, I don't think that there's any flat earther out there that's just not aware of how to, observe reality. There wouldn't be a debate in the world right now if it was so obvious. There wouldn't be people converting and going, oh man, I couldn't have believed that lie for so long. Because once you stop believing the lie, you can't look at it the same way after that. Once you stop, once you go in your mind, once you say, man, I wonder, I've really never proved to myself that, oh, I just saw another shooting star. It was over like the opposite way I had the camera. That's 2 tonight. That's awesome. All right, guys, I'm gonna head out. But, yeah, we live on Earth. So it's like the little arguments like that, they become important if you look at other aspect or possible aspects of it, like the spiritual ones. So, all right, guys, peace out. Nice talking to all of you, and have a good night. Thank you, Beulah, and Spare Room Music, and everybody else that came to hang out. Have a good night.